Welcome. As you probably know, I absolutely love my VOIGTLANDER lenses. They're almost perfect, and listening to you guys, most of you seem to agree. The biggest problem with VOIGTLANDER lenses, and really any lenses which are not modern Leica branded lenses, is, if we take the back cap off, they are not 6-bit coded. Now this is not a problem only for VOIGTLANDER, the same is true for maybe TT Artisans, Light Lens Lab, Zeiss, 7R Sans, everybody that makes lenses for Leica. Almost all lenses are not 6-bit coded. Now this is different to Leica lenses. Modern Leica lenses are 6-bit coded, if you can see that. So as soon as I put this lens onto my Leica M10, Leica SL, etc., the camera knows straight away this is a 50mm Summicron. That then applies the 50mm Summicron profile, which corrects your image to give you a slightly, I guess, more corrected image. Another question you guys ask me a lot is, Matt, what profile would I use for the, let's say, 35mm f2 Ultron? Because it's the 35mm f2, my answer is always just select 35 f2 from the profile list in your camera, which would be the 35mm f2 Summicron, and that's going to give you a slightly corrected look. Now, as personally, I don't really value overly corrected photos. I don't really use any lens profiles with any lens. The only time I miss having lens profiles is during pretty much every shoot. I might be shooting, say, a 40mm, let's say, I don't know, a 28mm and a 90mm. I'm switching between these lenses throughout a regular shoot because I might be doing some wide, some normal, some wide, some normal, and some telephoto. I then get to my photos on the computer, bring up the photos in Lightroom, and I don't know which photos were shot with which lens. Now, as a YouTuber that reviews lenses for you guys, I often need to know which lens shot which photo so I can then tell you guys, hey, this lens can make these photos. So for me, it'd be really, really useful if all lenses came 6-bit coded. And that is the point of today's video. Hey guys, Matt here. So yes, as you probably guessed, it's just a very quick video. Someone sent me a kit which allows you to mark up your own non-Leica branded lenses, or even your Leica lenses if they're vintage lenses. Vintage Leica lenses are not 6-bit coded, modern Leica lenses are 6-bit coded. This tool allows you to, basically a pen and a tool, allows you to then mark up all your lenses, and then we have all 6-bit coded lenses. How cool is that going to be? Fingers crossed, because it'd be so useful to have a coded up lens kit. As I say, it could be like Lens Lab, TT Artisan, Typoc, or VOIGTLANDER, as you see here. Just so when you see the photos on your computer, I think it's quite useful to see, once you know which lens is given which pictures, it will then give you an idea of whether you're shooting, say, mostly 35mm, because it will tell you 80% of your photos are shot with 35mm or whatever, and that may then allow you to narrow down the lenses that you've got, and maybe you could sell a few if you realise you only use a 90mm for 5 photos every year, yet you shoot your 50mm Apo 80% of the time or whatever. So I think there are multiple uses to being able to code your lenses. And as I say, for those of you that were looking for a more corrected look, it will also then trigger the correct lens profile or nearest thing to it for every lens, depending on the focal length and maximum aperture. And that will then kind of correct vignetting in the corners and things like that. So let's jump into it, and fingers crossed it's going to work. Okay, so if you buy this product, I can put a link to it below. You get this little tool, and you also get the instructions, this 2-sided piece of paper. This is not a sponsored video. I just thought I'd try and help out the fellow Leica shooters, help the Leica community. You don't get the pen with it currently, so you will need to buy like a permanent marker. Try and get something that looks similar to the one I'm showing in this video, because this pen definitely works. Well, we'll see. Spoiler alert, it does work. Okay, so the first lens I wanted to code up was my VOIGTLANDER Nocturne 75 1.5. The nearest Leica lens to this is the Leica Summlux 75 1.4, so I'm going to use that coding. There's a little notch on the tool, and you need to twist it until the notch clicks into place in the hole on the back of your lens mount. like that. Otherwise your code's not in the right place and it won't work. So make sure it clicks into place before you start marking your lens. You then mark the same code as the black dots on the instruction list. You don't need to mark the white dots, you only need to mark the black dots, which makes it even easier. So as you see, I used a tool to kind of give me a guide of where the marks needed to be, and then I went over them again to make them like a thicker marks with the pen afterwards. Okay, the moment of truth. Will it work? Let's turn on my Lightroom 10. And will it recognize the lens? Yes. So my Lightroom 10 now instantly recognizes my 75 1.5 Nocturne as the 75 1.4 Sumlux. For me, that's more than good enough. And now at least I know that when I'm using that 75mm, it is that lens. Okay, next let's try the VOIGTLANDER Nocturne, Ultron 35mm f2. There's the little notch that you need the tool to go into, and I'm going to use the coding for the 35mm Summicron f2 version 4. Okay, so I need to do the two little black marks. As I say, the white marks don't matter. Connect it to your Leica camera, power it up. Will it work? Can I get 2 out of 2? Yes. This tool is amazing. I can't believe no one kind of came up with this sooner. Whoever, the guys that made this at AKARA Labs, they are forward thinkers. Finally someone fixing the problems that we have as Leica shooters. So I now wanted to code up more of my lenses, so I grabbed a few more. So I've got the Typoc, the Light Lens Lab 50mm f2 Alcan, and a fast TTR sun lens. First, let's try the Alcan. This is my smallest 50mm lens, although it looks bigger here because I've got a hood on it. Will it work? No. So this time it didn't work. So maybe it's not 100% foolproof. Okay, well I do actually own the 50mm 0.95 TT Artisan lens. So let's now try and code this lens, and that should give the same results of it being a 50 0.95. So 2 out of 3 so far. So will it recognize it as a 50 0.95 Noctilux? Answer is yes. So 3 out of 4, that's pretty good. Okay, I didn't want to be beaten, so I sprayed some kind of alcohol based deodorant onto a bit of tissue. I wiped off the permanent marker for the Alcan, and I wanted to give it another go. So the great thing with this tool is using this pen, it's not permanent, so if ever you want to say sell your lens, just spray some old like links as I'm doing here onto a tissue, and that will clean off your lens, so there's no permanent damage. Okay, so this time I'm using a different Summicron 50mm f2 code and see if this works instead. Will it work? Yes! So you can hear me clapping. So this is one of my most used lenses, so that's really, really useful. You can see I've got quite a few lenses. Those are just a few that I pulled out. And this tool 100% works. It worked on every lens, although it did take me 2 attempts with the Light Lens Lab 50mm f2 Alcan. That's the pen that I'm using. And if you can find something similar, it does work. And to recap, you don't need to use the white dots from like Tipex or something. Make sure you follow the instructions, and you can probably use this little QR code to access their website, but I'll also put a link below. I'd say not sponsored, just helping these guys out. Thanks so much for AKARA Labs for making this amazing product, and as always a huge thanks to my amazing patrons. I've just come back from photo shoots in Italy, so feel free to subscribe or follow me. Those videos coming soon.